This is a special presentation of EA Sports from the Coliseum in Oakland, our tribute to the coach, the John Madden Legacy Game. I'm Brandon Gaudin here to take you through the proceedings, and coming up, we're going to tell the story of a man who was truly larger than life and whose impact on the sport of football certainly is going to live on for decades and decades to come. Now, we've assembled a couple of rosters featuring some of Coach's favorite players from both yesterday and today, and Coach himself will be on the sidelines for both squads, trying to motivate his guys to victory. And I'm joined now by my good friend Charles Davis. CD, your thoughts on John Madden and what he meant to the sport he loves so much?
For me, Brandon, it's the word joy. He brought that to the game of football and brought the game to so many people. He stayed involved his entire life. And moving forward, when you think of football, you're always going to think John Madden.
The Coliseum back to its original 70s glory. What a scene in the East Bay. And we're underway in the John Madden Legacy Game. And no run back here, so they'll bring it out to the 25. So it's the NFC stars who will get the ball first. And, Charles, as we alluded to, we've got a different era of coach on each sideline. So the man coaching this NFC squad, we'll call him Young John Madden. This is a coach who was trying to establish a foothold in the NFL and on the cusp of doing it very successfully.
Yeah, you think back to that period, those early days as the coach of the Raiders, the late 60s in the AFL and then in the NFL in the early 70s. Coach was a guy who was ahead of his time. The Raiders were one of the first teams to have mini camps, one of the first to film practice, because he wanted to practice coaching as much as he could. And his teams, they were successful right from the start of his head coaching tenure.
It'll be Sanders to begin the drive. And he maneuvers up the middle for 3. And it's second down. So as we mentioned at the top, let's take you through the life of John Madden. And, you know, it's very fitting that we're here back in the Bay Area, not just because John's so associated with Raider football, but also because this was where he spent his formative years.
Yeah, he grew up over Daly City with his buddy John Robinson, who would also become an NFL head coach. He played his high school ball at Jefferson High, eventually wound up playing tackle at the University of Oregon, and later Cal Poly San Luis Obispo. Played well enough that in 1958, he was a 21st round draft pick of the Philadelphia Eagles. That's right, the draft had 30 rounds then.
They will get 4 yards here on the first down run, and that'll make it 2nd and 6. The run got 4. Now they deal with a 2nd and 6. Here's Favre to throw. Throw left side, complete to Moss. Touchdown! Randy Moss, 33 yards. And the NFC has taken the early lead. Extra point by Anderson, up and good. And it's now a 7-0 game. The drive summary, 4 plays, 75 yards. And it's finished off by an NFC touchdown. Fielded just outside the goal line. And a decent return out to the 27-yard line. So, Charles, as mentioned, we've got another Coach Madden over here on the AFC sideline. Of course, his Raiders, members of the AFC West. So this is a conference he battled in for his entire career. And you think about the landscape of the NFL as he was getting into the back half of his tenure. It was a golden era for coaches. You had Don Shula, Tom Landry, Chuck Noll, Bud Grant. But it was John Madden who had the best winning percentage of them all, CD. 759, the best ever.
Brandon, it's hard to believe he could be so successful in a conference with all those great teams. The Steelers won 4 Super Bowls. The Dolphins won 2 and were a mainstay in the playoffs. The Colts were tough. The Broncos came on late and went to a Super Bowl themselves. But against Hall of Fame coaches, John Madden's record, 36, 16, and 2. That's pretty incredible. His Raiders were a factor each and every year.
Charles, you mentioned Coach was a 21st-round draft pick back in 1958. Was the Philadelphia Eagles who selected him. But unfortunately for John, knee problems, they just continued to dog him. He was hurt in his first training camp, actually never saw the field as a player in the NFL. But it was still during his time with the Eagles, you and I were talking about this before going on air, that you could start to see the light bulb going on for what his career path might entail.
And it went on in a big way, didn't it? Because while he was rehabbing his knee, he started to spend a lot of time breaking down film with the Eagles with quarterback Norm Van Brocklin, the future Hall of Famer and future head coach in the NFL. Remember, Norm Van Brocklin coached with the Falcons. He coached with the Vikings. And it was there during that time, I think Coach Madden realized his love of football and love for teaching, combining all that together, and that meant being a football coach. So in 1960, began his coaching career at a small college south of San Luis Obispo called Allen Hancock, and then later at San Diego State University under another legendary coach, the guy that could throw it around pretty well, Don Coryell.
Brady now on first down. He finds his man, complete. That's Gonzalez. And he's going to get this down near the 20-yard line. Now a first carry for their fullback. And he's going to get this one down inside the 15. Well, Charles, you know, it was in the early 1960s that a young John Madden made the acquaintance of the owner of the Oakland Raiders, one Al Davis, of course. And the two, they really bonded, would become one of the best owner-coach duos in NFL history. And to take it a step further, Al Davis became someone who John referred to as his best friend.
Yeah, 1967, Brandon, Al Davis hired Coach Madden to be a linebackers coach. Remember, this was still the AFL at that point. We had not merged totally with the NFL. And Coach Madden, he paid dividends almost immediately. Helped the Raiders win the AFL title in 1968. And that meant a date with the Green Bay Packers in what was now known as Super Bowl II. But by 1969, at the age of 32, just 32, Brandon, John Madden assumed the mantle of head coach of the Oakland Raiders. And what a ride he, the Raiders, and the NFL were about to go on.
One quarter in the books at the Coliseum. What a day. The NFC Stars with the early lead in the John Madden Legacy game on EA Sports. A nice burst there as they'll get about 7 that time on the first down run. Charles, you talked about John Madden and the Raiders going on a ride. Well, try these numbers on for size. In 10 seasons as a head coach, the Raiders won their division 7 times. They finished second the other 3 times, and he became the youngest coach to amass 100 career regular season victories and is still, to this day, the franchise leader in wins.
And when you think about it, that's where that rivalry with Kansas City really took root, as did the expression commitment to excellence. And boy, was it personified by the players who played for Coach Madden. On offense, how about quarterback Kenny Stabler, wide receiver Cliff Branch, wide receiver Fred Biletnikoff, tight end Dave Casper, to name a few. How about those great linemen he had? Center Jim Otto, guard Gene Upshaw, tackle Art Shell, all of them in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. And guys on the defensive side of the ball, the Mad Stork himself, Ted Hendricks, Willie Brown, John Matuzak, Otis Sistrunk, and Big Ben Davidson. So many great players, so many great memories.
A first down carry for Smith. And past the 35, he'll be dropped a yard or 2 shy of the 30. 11 more yards that go around, a first down as well. 2 minutes remain here in the first half of the John Madden Legacy game. We'll be back. Hey, we want to let you know, give you a fair warning, that coming up at halftime, the folks at EA Sports have put together a very nice package in tribute to Coach Madden. So make sure you stick around for that. Again, coming up at halftime. And they'll get him down after a pickup of 8, 2nd and 2. Now Favre. This throw incomplete, nearly picked off. And with his pedigree, he doesn't drop many of those. But third down coming up. They'll try and run for it with Sanders. And he picks up the first down yardage as he takes it down to the 16. Charles, you think about all the success that John Madden had as an NFL head coach, and he had plenty, and we talked about it, including the 10 straight winning seasons, a Super Bowl title. But like any great coach, he also suffered through a few tough losses along the way as well.
And Brandon, those tough losses came in high-stakes games because they always had such great success. Think of
touchdown! George Kittle, a 16-yard touchdown. And the NFC is in for 6. Extra point by Anderson, up and good. And it's now 14-0. That time, a 9-play drive. And it all ends with a George Kittle touchdown. Following the touchdown, here's Anderson to kick it away. And that one will bounce out of the back of the end zone, so we will start here at the 25. The offense for the AFC set to go now. And Charles, we'll see what they can do here. Not a ton of time left, but enough certainly to get points out of this drive, and they need them right now because they're trailing.
Yeah, this is exactly why you practice a 2-minute drill all through camp and at least one practice each week before a game. A minute left, more than enough time to string a few completions together, reach the end zone, and then make that walk back to the locker room just a little more animated.
The CD, we spoke of some of the Raiders' tough playoff losses through the decade of the 70s, but for one shining season, they put it all together, and that was 1976. You remember a 13-1 regular season, a memorable playoff win over New England. They dominated the Steelers 24-7 in the AFC title game, and then a meeting with the Minnesota Vikings in Super Bowl 11.
Oh, Brandon, what a game that was down at the Rose Bowl in Pasadena. A gorgeous 53-degree day, perfect for football. Raiders got out to a 16-0 lead at the half, and Clarence Davis, no relation, although I would certainly claim him strong on the ground, 137 yards rushing. How about Freddie Blitnikoff, the MVP of that game, catching everything that came his way? Kenny Stabler running the offense with precision, and we all remember the one that sealed it. The grand old man himself, Willie Brown, with the laser-focused eyes, picking off Fran Tarkenton and taking it 75 yards for a touchdown. 32-14, the final score. Raiders had their first Super Bowl title, and we got the iconic shot of Coach Madden being lifted on the shoulder pads of his players and carried aloft as a Super Bowl champ.
Off the play fake, here's Favre. And they're going to get him. They bring him down to the sack back at the 16-yard line. Now the NFC going to take a timeout, their second, as they'll stop it with just over 40 seconds to go in the first half. From the gun, it's Favre. Under pressure, and they got to him again. Javon Curse. He's the one that drops him this go-around, and that pass rush getting strong here. Back-to-back sacks. Now the defense going to use the first of their timeouts as they stop it here with just under 40 ticks to go in this first half. Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. And that's going to be caught. Touchdown NFC. Cooper Kupp, 26 yards. And the NFC is in for 6. Extra point by Anderson, up and good. And it's now 21-0. So that drive, 4 plays. And it ends with Cooper Kupp on the receiving end of the touchdown pass. No run back here for Hall, and this will come out to the 25. The AFC offense set to take their next drive. And with a 3-score deficit staring them in the face, they might have to press the issue here and try to get points out of this drive. And this will be a gain of 5 as he gets it to the 30. Now the AFC going to take a timeout. It's their second as they'll stop it with 27 seconds remaining here in the second quarter. Looking to throw again on 2nd down. Brady. And that's complete to Gates. And past the 40 before he's out of bounds. He's got his first catch here before halftime, and it goes for a first down.
And I don't think there's any question that this offense is going to need to hit on a few more plays like this. It's been a difficult first half for them, to say the least. And I do believe if they want to get back in this game, they need to start right now. It's kind of like making adjustments. If you try and wait until the half, it's probably too late. They need to get going.
And that is caught one-handed. Oh, my, pulled it in. Now the offense will burn their third and final timeout. And with halftime on the horizon, they'll be out of timeouts from here forward. Being chased out left. And he's going to have to eat this one as down he goes. So we're at halftime of the John Madden Legacy game, and now we present a special tribute to the man of the hour, narrated by the Raiders' own Trey Mosley. And that one will bounce out of the back of the end zone, so we will start here at the 25. The offense for the AFC set to go now. On play action, it's Brady rolling to his right. And that is caught on the right sideline, but out of bounds, says the line judge. The throw took him a little too far. It's second down. Inside handoff here to Ricard. And he'll be upended at the 28-yard line. Just a 3-yard gain there. This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on third down. To throw is Brady. Oh, had his hands on it, couldn't bring it in. Pretty symptomatic of how this game's been going.
Good clean play. No flags coming out of the pocket of the officials. Turns into an incompletion, and that should get him off the field with a 3-and-out.
Brady to throw for it on fourth down. Quick slant to Brown. And he is going to have enough for an AFC first down. So how about that? They risk it on fourth down, and they're rewarded. So now, Charles, to pick up the story we've been telling, John Madden at 42. He just completed a 10-year stint as the coach of the Raiders. He wants to step away a bit from the grind of coaching, but he doesn't want to step away from the game of football. So he ends up signing on with CBS in 1979 to try his hand at broadcasting. And much like his coaching career, it was pretty much an instant success.
Partner, he really connected with the people right from the start, and people may not remember, he wasn't even on the #1 team in the beginning. He worked his way up. But the same things that made him a great coach made him a great broadcaster. The ability to show the big picture, yet break it down into the details. That's what he did with his teams. That's what he did with the people. That way, he was simple to understand, yet insightful for viewers. And he did with that big personality that he had, one that connected with everyone.
Brady to throw again. He'll get it once more into the hands of Hill. And he'll be hauled down at about the 30-yard line. So for Coach Madden, Charles, by 1981, his broadcasting career is really taking off. He's elevated to the network's #1 booth that calls all the big matchups. And he gets the plum assignment of calling Super Bowl 16, 49ers and Bengals, and he's teamed up with Pat Summerall. And that pairing ultimately would go on to be one of the most influential in sports broadcasting history.
Influential not just in us listening to them. Remember, they went on and called 8 Super Bowls together. But how they put together kind of the template that all of us broadcasters follow now. Sitting down with the head coaches and the quarterbacks and the stars of each team before a ball game to get extra information. And the way that those two paired together, Pat Summerall, short, concise, to the point, and turned it over to Coach Madden to fill in all the big details.
Throwing now is Brady. And he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete. So another incompletion there. He's hitting on fewer than half his pass attempts in this one, and that is not a winning formula.
Yes, let's make sure we give a little bit of credit to the defense here. They're giving him a lot to think.
And he is into the end zone for an AFC touchdown. Marcus Allen, a 5-yard touchdown run. And the AFC able to get a bit closer. Finney. to tack on the PAT, and they'll cut the lead to 21-7. And here's Vinatieri now to kick it away after the touchdown. Taken in at the 3. And he's up across the 25 and down at the 28. Ready to begin their next drive here, the NFC offense. They were terrific in the first half, built up a sizable lead, and it's just been cut into a bit following the opening drive score on the other side. But this is a unit that has to be itching to get the football again.
You could say that again. They've got to be pretty eager because, let's face it, they've had to sit through halftime, then sit on the sidelines and watch that drive. So you can bet that they're saying, let's get on with this. We got to go out there and get some more points.
As you mentioned, CD, talking about John Madden, the broadcaster, he called 8 Super Bowls with Pat Summerall, 3 more with Al Michaels later in his career. He spent nearly 3 decades in the booth all told. And not only was he beloved for his mannerisms, we know that, but he was an innovator as well.
Yeah, Brandon, you're talking about things like the telestrator, which totally became identified with him, and now it's a staple for all analysts to have in the booth. And then you think about things like turducken on Thanksgiving, when he used words like boom and pow. He helped create the old Madden team. He was a very popular commercial pitch man. And even the Madden Cruiser was unique, and you had to be someone to get a ride on it, too.
So through 3 quarters of the John Madden legacy game, it's the NFC stars and young Coach Madden on top. And we'll be back to the Coliseum after this. Forced out to his left. Well, that's complete to the fullback, Ricard. And they'll get it up just short of the 45 at the 44. And the offense moving quickly to the line. Mahomes now on first down. They're unable to connect, but a late flag comes in. And the contact may have come too early. So flag for the contact, pass interference.
And I know that you're going to look at me and roll your eyes, and rightfully so, because you know what I'm going to say. Doesn't the defender have a right to the football as well?
No, I don't like defenders.
That's because you spent too much time with me. Okay, I'll side with you on this one. It's the correct call.
On 2nd and 10, Mahomes. That's out to Hill, right side complete. And he'll go out of bounds inside the 15-yard line. Now, CD, we did get a little ahead of ourselves talking about John Madden, the broadcaster in the 90s and 2000s, because there was another product during that time period that he became quite famous for, and it's something that you and I know a little bit about, and that's the video game that bears his name. Originally John Madden Football when it was first released back in the late 1980s, and now known the world over simply as Madden.
And Coach saw this originally as a way to teach the game of football. The early designs were for a 7-on-7 game, but he said no chance. He would not sign off on it. He wanted to be as realistic as possible. He told them, call me when it's 11-on-11, and he got his wish.
Yeah, after that debut, Madden, the video game, continued to pick up steam through the 90s in a big way, and John himself, many will remember, was a commentator for the series for many years. And now here we are in the 2020s, and this game has sold somewhere in the neighborhood of 150 million copies. Now Mahomes got to have this one, and that is caught for an AFC touchdown. Mahomes finding Tyreek Hill, and the AFC able to draw a bit closer. Big 4th down conversion for the score, and the defense, that is a tough pill to swallow.
Big time for them. How about them just deciding to go for it on 4th down? And, okay, forget the field goal, because that looked like an easy 3 points. Yeah, you might have had a defensive breakdown in there, but they pressed the issue and found a way to get it into the end zone. Give them big credit for that.
And here's Vinatieri now to kick it away after the touchdown. Short kick. One of the up middle take it down. And they've got it up past the 35, so pretty good starting field position. The offense for the NFC ready to get their next drive started. They've been asleep for a little while on this side of the football, Charles, and the score is just a one-score game now. Haven't had any points this half. What gives?
Let's go old school here. All right, let's get back to the basics. Get back to running the football, high-percentage throws. Find the guys that eat pressure and make plays for you and make sure they touch it.
On second down, Favre. Jerry Rice, open right side. And he'll wind up picking up about 4 as that is going to bring us to the 2-minute warning. Short completion, just 4 yards, and it's 3rd and 4 now. In search of 4 yards here to pick up the first down. On 3rd down, they turn to Sanders. And he is going to have the first down, and that is going to suck the life right out of this crowd. So, CD, you look at the accumulation of John Madden's achievements in the world of football, the coaching success, the Super Bowl title, the incredible career as a broadcaster with 12 Emmy Awards, Madden, the video game. It was very fitting back. Taking it right down Broadway. Touchdown! A big play there. 53 yards. And the NFC is in for 6. Extra point by Anderson, up and good. And the lead now up to 14. Just a 4-play drive that time. And Barry Sanders the one to finish it off as he does so with a touchdown run. This will be fielded inside the 5. And up to about the 26-yard line, just across the 25. The AFC offense set to take their next drive. Mahomes. Flush to his right. Now a desperation throw deep downfield. And it'll be incomplete. Good job staying with it defensively. And it'll bring up 2nd down. Here's Mahomes. And that is incomplete. A lot of force bearing down on him there. He could not hang on. It's 3rd down. So back-to-back incompletions, and that has him staring at a 3rd and 10. He's going to let it fly. And he's caught on the sideline, but he's not going to have a first down. They say he was out of bounds. So a big call there that brings up 4th. Mahomes escaping the pressure right. Now a desperation throw deep downfield. And it's incomplete. They cannot convert, and they turn it over. They had to go for it with such little time remaining. And the NFC is going to get the football back in excellent field position. On 1st and 10, it's Sanders. They're going to snuff this play out behind the line. We have not seen that much today. Now the AFC going to use the first of their timeouts as they stop it here with just under 40 seconds to go in the game. 2nd and 12, and you'd have to assume another all-out effort to stop the run is coming. Another run here with Sanders. And they've got it in the red zone now, down at about the 19. And it looks like we've got a dime set here defensively. 6 DBs in the game. And the clock will now stop as a timeout is called with 5 seconds left. Coming up here looking for 3 yards to pick up the first. On 3rd down, they'll run it with Sanders. A loss of a yard, and it brings up 4th. Now the defense will burn their 3rd and final timeout. And as the two teams talk it over on their respective sidelines, we take a break. Going for it with Sanders. And he won't get there. They stop him a few yards short of the line to gain. So it's a win here for the NFC. Just an incredible afternoon of football and remembering the life of John Madden. And before we go, one final message. And for all of us at EA Sports, this one's for you, Coach.
I just say this, I thank you all very much. This has been the sweetest ride of them all.